Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered how your life ended up here? How you became someone who wakes up tired, drags through the day, and goes to sleep feeling like nothing really changed? That feeling, it's not just exhaustion, it's something deeper. It's the quiet ache of being stuck. You feel it when your heart wants more, but your habits hold you back. You scroll past inspiring words, hear stories of others turning their lives around, and wonder if that could ever be you. And deep down, a small voice whispers, maybe I've missed my chance. But I'm here to tell you something that changed everything for me. You haven't, not even close. Because what if I told you that one single week, just 7 days, could flip a switch inside you? Not by changing everything at once, but by making a few small, deliberate decisions. I know how that sounds. It's easy to roll your eyes at promises of quick change. But this isn't about hacks or hype. It's about reconnecting with something we've forgotten in the noise. Our own power to choose, to act, to transform. Or not someday, today. In 1 week, I changed my life. Not because I became someone new overnight, but because I stopped waiting. I stopped saying tomorrow and started saying now. And everything that followed, it came from that one decision. The truth is, you're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not unmotivated. You're just exhausted from carrying dreams without direction, desires without discipline. And that kind of weight, it breaks even the strongest hearts. But the good news is this: change doesn't start with massive leaps. It starts with a moment, right here, right now, when you say, I'm done waiting. That's where I was. At the edge of burnout, scrolling through life, numbing myself with routine, until I realized I was living the same day over and over and calling it a life. That realization hurt, but it was the push I needed. And once I decided to change, everything shifted. I didn't need to move mountains. I just needed to move consistently, intentionally, and with belief. I committed to 5 simple habits, not 30, not 10, just 5. And what happened next wasn't magic. It was momentum. It was clarity. It was a kind of emotional freedom I hadn't felt in years. Because with each habit, I remembered who I was. I remembered that action, even small action, builds confidence, builds courage, and most importantly, builds identity. So if you're still watching, it means part of you is ready. Not just curious, but ready. Ready to stop drifting. Ready to start leading your life instead of reacting to it. And I promise you this, if you give yourself 7 days, if you commit to these 5 habits with even half your heart, something in you will awaken, something powerful, something permanent. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you won't just believe change is possible. You'll know it's already begun. Change doesn't need more time. It needs more truth. And the truth is, most people aren't stuck because they're not capable. They're stuck because they've been told to wait. Wait for the right moment. Wait until they feel ready. Wait until life calms down. But waiting is a silent killer. It tricks you into thinking you're being patient when, in reality, you're just avoiding the discomfort of starting. You don't need more time, you need one decision. The moment you say enough is enough, everything begins to shift. Because clarity comes through action, not through overthinking. The more you move, the more you see. The more you see, the more you believe. And the more you believe, the less you tolerate staying the same. 1 week may not seem like much, but when it's lived with purpose, it becomes a turning point. It becomes the line in the sand where you stop being a passive observer in your own life and start becoming the author. When you stop looking for shortcuts and start building foundations. Real growth doesn't explode overnight. It compounds quietly, silently, day after day. And the best part? The first few days are the hardest, not because they're physically demanding, but because they ask you to be honest with yourself, to stop lying about what you can't do and start showing yourself what you will do. The brain craves momentum. It thrives on progress. Even the smallest shift creates a flood of emotional energy. This is how motivation is built, not by waiting for inspiration, but by proving to yourself that you can follow through. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build something deeper than motivation. You build trust. And when you trust yourself again, you stop needing permission. You stop apologizing for wanting more. And you start showing up for the life that's been waiting for you all along. This week isn't about fixing everything. It's about proving one thing, that you're not powerless. That the same hands you use to scroll, to wait, to overthink, those same hands can build. They can write new routines, create new energy, shape a new identity. Your power was never gone. It was just buried under fear, doubt, and old patterns. But right now, you are strong enough to take it back, not through perfection, but through consistency. And once you commit, even just for 7 days, you'll feel it, that shift, that awakening, that sense of momentum you haven't felt in years. And it will remind you that the version of you've been dreaming of, it's not far away. It's right beneath the surface, waiting for you to stop hesitating and start becoming. Stay committed. Because this isn't about a new habit. It's about a new story. One that begins with action, is driven by belief, and ends with you finally becoming who you were always meant to be. This is your turning point. Don't blink. Don't back down. You're already moving. Keep going. The first step toward transformation begins the moment you reclaim your morning. Not with noise, not with urgency, but with intention. Most people wake up reacting, reaching for their phones, flooding their minds with messages, news, distractions. Before the day even begins, their attention is hijacked, their focus scattered. And without realizing it, they've handed over their peace to everything outside of them. But your morning is sacred. It's the one moment in the day before the world starts pulling at you. If you give it away, you give away your clarity. But if you claim it, everything shifts. Taking back your morning doesn't require hours. It requires ownership. Ownership of your time, your mind, your energy. You don't need a perfect routine. You need presence. Just 30 minutes of undisturbed space to breathe, to sit with your thoughts, to ask yourself what matters today. To remember why you started. This is where alignment begins, not with goals written in pressure, but with truth whispered in stillness. When you start your day with intention, you step into it with power. You're no longer reacting, you're creating. And a difference changes everything. Those first moments after waking are where your identity is shaped. What you focus on becomes your filter. What you believe becomes your behavior. So speak to yourself like someone you believe in. Speak with direction. Speak with courage. Remind yourself of who you're becoming. Write it down. Say it out loud. Visualize it like it's already yours. Because the person who shows up for themselves in the morning is the one who shows up for their life all day long. You don't need motivation when you have alignment. You don't need discipline when you have clarity. The reason most people feel lost is not because they're lazy. It's because they've never taken the time to define what they truly want. They're chasing everything and landing on nothing. But you're not here to chase. You're here to lead. That begins when you stop outsourcing your focus and start directing it inward. That's what this habit gives you, not productivity, not pressure, but power. The kind that comes from knowing your time is yours again. And once you build this habit, it becomes your anchor. No matter what the day throws at you, you've already connected to your purpose before the noise began. You've already chosen your mindset. You've already aligned your energy. That's how you stay grounded in chaos. That's how you keep showing up when motivation fades. Your morning becomes a contract with yourself, a daily reminder that you are in control, that you are committed, that you are capable of becoming more. This is where momentum begins. Not in the middle of the storm, but in the silence before it. Take that silence. Own it. Guard it, and let it become the space where your next level begins to breathe, because the life you want won't wait. And now, neither will you. There's a reason most people never change. It's not because they lack desire, it's because they keep starting too big. They set massive goals, expect instant results, and when things get hard, they quit. Not because they're weak, but because their brain was never designed for sudden, overwhelming change. The mind rejects what feels unsafe. And when the goal feels too far, too fast, it triggers resistance. That's not failure. That's biology. But when you start small, something powerful happens. The brain says yes. It begins to feel progress. And progress, even the smallest kind, is the spark that builds belief. This is why one habit done consistently beats a dozen done occasionally. Momentum isn't built by intensity. It's built by repetition. Repetition wires new patterns. Repetition changes your baseline. Repetition tells your mind, this is who I am now. And the more often you follow through, the more natural it feels. You don't need to be extreme. You just need to be committed. Committed to showing up when it's boring, when it's hard, when it feels like it's not working. Because every time you keep going, you're proving something deeper to yourself. That your word means something. That your actions have weight. That you are becoming someone who doesn't need conditions to be consistent. Small steps are not small. They are the foundation of everything. They eliminate excuses. They silence the voice that says it's too much. A 5-minute walk, a 1-line journal entry, a single mindful breath. These aren't trivial, they are transformational because they shift your focus from what's out of reach to what's within your control. They create wins, and wins build identity. And once your identity shifts, everything else starts to follow. This is how you go from wanting change to becoming the kind of person who lives it. You stop needing to feel ready. You start moving anyway. You stop chasing motivation. You start acting with purpose. That shift from waiting to doing is everything. And it only takes one step to begin. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need the best tools. You just need to move. One small deliberate action taken today, repeated tomorrow, done without excuses. And soon, those small actions stop feeling like effort. They start feeling like you. And that's the moment when change becomes real, when you no longer have to force it, because it's no longer something you do, it's who you are. You become the person who shows up, the person who follows through, the person who doesn't quit. And when you become that person, there is no finish line. There is only growth. This is the secret you've been searching for. Not a shortcut, not a breakthrough, just a single step done with belief, one after another. Let the rest of the world keep searching for hacks. You're building something deeper, something unshakable, something permanent. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how everything else begins to change. When you take back control of your attention, everything else begins to fall into place. The world is loud by design. Your phone lights up before your eyes are even fully open. Notifications scream for your focus. Algorithms pull your energy in every direction. Every moment becomes a reaction, and before you realize it, your mind is no longer yours. You're scattered, drained, disconnected. Not because you're weak, but because you've been surrounded by noise for so long. Silence feels unnatural. That silence, though, it's where your clarity lives. That's why stepping away isn't a luxury, it's survival. Deliberately disconnecting from the digital world, even for just 1 hour a day, is one of the most powerful habits you can build. Not because the screen is evil, but because it's endless. There's no finish line. No moment where your brain says, now I'm full. You scroll, not to feel better, but to feel less. Less anxious, less alone, less behind. But what you actually need isn't escape, it's reconnection. You need to reconnect with your thoughts, with your emotions, with the quiet part of yourself that still remembers who you were before the world told you who to be. In that quiet, something wakes up. Your attention sharpens, your breathing slows, your mind returns to you. That space becomes sacred. Not a break from life, but a return to it. You begin to realize how much you've been running from your own presence, how often you've been filling the silence to avoid facing the truth. But when you face it, you begin to heal. When you sit with yourself without a screen, without distraction, you remember what matters. You remember what hurts. You remember what you're here for. This isn't about quitting technology. It's about creating boundaries that protect your focus. Because your focus is your future. And if you give it away to every flashing light and empty scroll, you'll never build anything lasting. That's not how transformation happens. Transformation requires depth, attention, presence. And none of that survives in constant distraction. Start by giving yourself 1 hour a day, 1 hour, where the world doesn't get to reach you. No messages, no headlines, no opinions, just you, your breath, your thoughts, your goals. That hour becomes a mirror. And sometimes what it reflects will be uncomfortable, but that discomfort is growth in disguise. Let it teach you. Let it move you. Let it become the fuel that powers your next step. Because once you learn how to sit alone, truly alone, you'll realize something profound. You were never empty. You were just buried under noise. Peel it back, create the space, and watch what rises. Strength, vision, peace. You don't need more information, or you need more intention. And when you give your mind back its own voice, you'll finally start to hear the one that matters most, the voice that says, this is who I am and this is where I'm going. Keep listening. You're just getting started. There's a kind of pain that doesn't scream. It whispers. Quietly, every day. It shows up in the space between who you are and who you know you could be. You feel it when you pause long enough to notice how much of your potential is still sitting unused. It's not loud, but it's heavy. It lives in the questions you avoid, the decisions you delay, the change you tell yourself you'll make when the timing is right. But deep down, you already know the timing will never be right, and the longer you wait, the louder the whisper becomes, until one day it turns into regret. That's the pain most people carry. Not the pain of failure, but the pain of inaction. The weight of untapped greatness. And the reason it hurts so much is because a part of you knows you're capable of more. You've just been stuck in survival mode, repeating days instead of living them, avoiding discomfort instead of using it. But discomfort is not the enemy, it's a message, a signal that something inside you wants to grow. The very thing you've been avoiding might be the door to everything you've been praying for. Pain is not punishment, it's a compass. It's your soul reminding you that you weren't built to settle. You were built to evolve. And that evolution doesn't happen by accident. It happens the moment you decide that staying the same is more painful than the effort it takes to change. That moment is your tipping point, the edge where the old version of you dies and the new one begins to rise, not all at once, but one choice at a time. One new standard, one new habit, one new belief. Let that pain teach you. Let it burn through the excuses. Let it strip away the lies you've told yourself about why you can't start. Because the truth is, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience, from strength, from everything you've already survived. And that makes you dangerous to the patterns that have kept you small. When you feel pain, don't numb it. Don't run from it. Use it. Let it be the reason you no longer tolerate being half alive. There is a fire inside you that you've been trying to contain. But fire doesn't disappear. It waits, patiently, until the day you finally decide to stop hiding. That fire is your calling. That pain is your push. And when you stop fearing it, you start fueling it. That's where real change begins. In the moment you stop being afraid of what hurts and start being afraid of never healing. Your future isn't waiting. It's watching. It's watching to see what you'll do when you get tired of your own delay. Make today the day you stop carrying pain like a burden and start using it like a torch. Light the path, step forward. The life you want is already waiting on the other side of the pain you keep avoiding. Let it move you. Let it make you. Let it begin now. Every day, you face a choice that shapes the direction of your life, whether to sink deeper into old patterns or to rise into the person you're becoming. That choice feels small, almost invisible at times. Maybe it's deciding to breathe through frustration instead of snapping. Maybe it's choosing to keep going when your energy whispers for rest. These moments aren't accidental. They are the battleground where transformation happens. You may not see it now, but every single decision to stay present, to act despite fear, is a victory that rewires your future. Change isn't a destination you reach, it's a muscle you build. And like any muscle, it strengthens with resistance, repetition, and time. The discomfort you feel when you push past your limits is proof you're growing. It means you're stretching beyond what once felt safe. You may stumble. You may want to quit. That's part of progress. The difference between those who fail and those who succeed isn't luck, it's resilience. Resilience is forged when you keep choosing to show up, even when you don't feel like it. It's born from the belief that your present pain is temporary, but the person you're becoming is permanent. The voice inside that tells you to stop, to take the easy way, to give up, that voice isn't your enemy. It's your mind trying to protect you from discomfort. But protection can become prison. It's time to outsmart that voice by acting in spite of it. Action breaks the cycle. Every step forward sends a powerful message to your brain. This is what I do now. This is who I am becoming. Slowly, that new identity grows stronger than the old fears. And before you know it, courage replaces hesitation, and momentum replaces doubt. This is how change becomes natural. Not because you suddenly become fearless, but because you become determined. Determined to claim your power, determined to honor your dreams, determined to refuse settling for less. That determination is a force that can't be stopped. It will pull you through the hardest moments when motivation falters. When the world tells you it's too hard or too late, you'll stand firm because your commitment has become your foundation. Your transformation isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each day you show up, you're rewriting your story. The story of someone who takes control, who believes in possibility, who refuses to be defined by past mistakes or current circumstances. You are not your history. You are the author of your future. And every choice you make now is a sentence in the new chapter you're writing. The person you want to be already exists within you. The courage, the strength, the discipline, they're waiting to be awakened. This week, this moment, this decision could be the spark. Choose to lean into the discomfort. Choose to embrace the challenge, because when you do, you'll discover that the life you want is not outside your reach, it's inside your resolve. Keep going. You are becoming unstoppable. True transformation demands more than just willpower. It requires a shift in how you treat yourself every single day. The way you speak to yourself, the habits you allow, and the standards you set become the invisible architecture of your life. Self-respect is not a luxury reserved for those who have it all together. It is the foundation that supports your growth even when everything feels uncertain. When you commit to honoring yourself with kindness and discipline, you build a fortress against doubt, fear, and the toxic voices that seek to pull you back into old patterns. This commitment means saying no to what drains you and yes to what fuels your soul. It means choosing your mental and physical health as non-negotiables, not afterthoughts. Every decision to nourish your body with movement, your mind with focus, and your spirit with rest is a declaration that you matter, that your dreams deserve protection. When you start valuing yourself in this way, your environment changes too. You no longer tolerate negativity disguised as normal. You surround yourself with energy that lifts you up. You create space for growth because you understand that respect starts from within. The brain craves consistency. It is comforted by routines that reinforce your identity. But routines don't build themselves. They require action, persistent, deliberate action. When you cultivate habits rooted in respect and self-love, you send a powerful message to your subconscious: I am worthy of effort. That message rewires how you show up for yourself, creating a cycle where respect breeds action and action deepens respect. This cycle becomes a force that propels you forward even when motivation wanes or life throws unexpected challenges. Respecting yourself also means protecting your time fiercely. Time is your most precious resource, and how you use it reveals what you truly value. When you guard your schedule against distractions and busy work, you give yourself permission to focus on what moves you closer to your goals. Boundaries become acts of self-care. Saying no becomes an act of empowerment. You realize that every minute wasted is a moment of your future slipping away. And with that awareness comes urgency, not panic, but a steady determination to reclaim your life from chaos and distraction. This is the quiet power that changes everything. The power to say, I deserve this, I am worth this. It's not about perfection or grand gestures. It's about the small daily choices that honor who you are and who you're becoming. When you choose respect over comfort, discipline over excuses, you build an unshakable foundation for lasting change. You prove to yourself that transformation is not something that happens to you. It's something you create with your own hands, heart, and mind. The life you dream of starts with the way you treat yourself today. Respect yourself fiercely. Protect your energy. Set standards that demand your best. Because when you do, you step into a version of yourself that no challenge can break, no fear can stop, and no obstacle can derail. You become the creator of your destiny, and nothing will ever be the same again. The power to change your life isn't found in some distant moment or hidden somewhere outside yourself. It's here now, inside the choices you make every second. Your thoughts, your habits, your actions. They create the reality you live in. When you recognize that, a new kind of freedom emerges. Freedom from waiting for permission. Freedom from hoping things will magically improve. Freedom from being a passenger in your own life. You become the driver, the architect, the one who decides what's possible. This realization can shake you. It demands responsibility. It means you can no longer blame circumstances, other people, or luck for where you are. But it also means you hold the key to your future. Every decision, no matter how small, is a step toward the life you want or away from it. And that truth is both terrifying and empowering. Because while you can't control everything, you can control what you do next. You can choose focus over distraction, courage over fear, progress over comfort. There's no magic formula, no secret shortcut. What works is simple but not easy, showing up every day and doing the work. The work of building habits that serve you. The work of quieting the mind that wants to give up. The work of believing in yourself when nothing external confirms it. That work breaks down walls. It changes your brain chemistry. It reshapes your identity. It transforms who you are from the inside out. And here's the most important thing. Transformation is not a single event. It's a process. It's a journey without a fixed destination. It's waking up each morning and choosing to be better than you were yesterday, even if it's by the smallest margin. It's forgiving yourself when you slip and then returning to the path without hesitation. It's trusting that every step, no matter how difficult, is necessary. Because the person you want to become isn't built in perfection, but in persistence. The path forward requires patience. It demands self-compassion. It requires the courage to face your own limitations without judgment. Every time you resist the urge to quit, you build resilience. Every time you replace doubt with action, you rewrite your story. This is how identity is formed. Through repeated choices, through consistent behavior. You become what you repeatedly do. Not what you wish for, not what you hope for, but what you commit to day after day. The question is, will you take that responsibility? Will you claim the power that's already inside you? Will you stand up to the fear, the excuses, the resistance that keep you stuck? Because the moment you do, the game changes. You no longer wait for life to hand you opportunities, you create them. You no longer wait for motivation, you generate it. You no longer wait for the right time. You make this moment right. This is your invitation to step fully into your power, to own your future with fierce determination, to live with intention, with purpose, with unstoppable momentum. The life you desire is not some distant dream. It's the result of the choices you make today. So choose wisely, choose boldly, and never forget, you are the author of your own destiny. True change takes more than just intention. It demands action rooted in clarity and purpose. Without clarity, your efforts scatter like leaves in the wind, lost to distraction and doubt. When you know exactly what you want and why it matters, your energy aligns. Your focus sharpens. Clarity becomes a guiding light that cuts through the noise and keeps you moving forward, even when the path feels uncertain or the obstacles appear insurmountable. That clarity isn't something that just happens. It's something you create by peeling back distractions and asking yourself hard questions. What do I truly want? What am I willing to fight for? What kind of person do I need to become to achieve this? When these questions are answered honestly, they ignite a fire inside you, a fire that fuels persistence and resilience. This fire grows stronger each time you remind yourself of your purpose. Purpose transforms hard work from a burden into a calling. It turns sacrifice into investment. It makes discipline less daunting and more meaningful. With purpose, your habits no longer feel like chores. They become the daily steps toward becoming the person you respect and admire. And with each small victory, that respect builds, reinforcing your commitment and deepening your belief in yourself. But clarity and purpose don't just give you direction. They protect you from the traps of doubt and distraction. When life pulls you in 100 directions, when uncertainty threatens to paralyze, purpose grounds you. It becomes your anchor in the storm. It reminds you why you started. It keeps your eyes on the horizon when the present moment feels heavy. This grounding power is essential because transformation is rarely linear. Progress often comes with setbacks, frustration, and moments of questioning. Without a clear why, it's easy to give up when the going gets tough. Purpose also shapes your mindset, the invisible framework through which you interpret challenges and setbacks. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth, tests of your commitment, and chances to prove your strength. This mindset shift is critical. It rewires your brain to embrace effort instead of fearing it, to welcome struggle instead of avoiding it. With this mindset, every challenge becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Your resilience grows, and with resilience, your capacity to achieve deepens. The clarity of your purpose demands that you let go of what no longer serves you. Old habits, toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, these are weighty anchors that drag you away from your true path. Letting go can be painful because it feels like loss, but it is also liberation. Clearing space in your life is necessary for new growth. Just as a garden needs to be weeded to flourish, your mind and heart need to be cleared of what stifles your potential. When you do this, you make room for possibility, for new habits, for fresh energy to flow. Your purpose is the compass that points you toward the life you were meant to live. It's the fuel that keeps you moving when the journey feels long. And it's the shield that protects your progress from doubt and distraction. When you hold on to your purpose with fierce determination, you don't just survive, you thrive. You become unstoppable because you are driven not by fleeting motivation, but by a deep, unwavering commitment to yourself and the future you are creating. Hold that clarity close. Let it lead you forward without hesitation. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your reality. Without it, clarity and purpose remain abstract ideas, beautiful intentions that never take shape. Discipline is the daily commitment to do what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. It's the strength to push through discomfort, to resist temptation, and to keep moving forward despite distractions or fatigue. Discipline isn't about punishment or harshness. It's about respect for yourself and your future. It's the silent promise you make to the person you're becoming, a promise to show up no matter what. This kind of discipline builds momentum that compounds over time. Every choice you make to stay consistent adds up. The small actions that feel insignificant in the moment create massive change when repeated day after day. When discipline becomes a habit, it frees you from the chaos of indecision and the trap of relying on motivation alone, which is fleeting and unreliable. Instead, you build a structure, a framework for success that supports you through ups and downs, doubts, and distractions. Discipline also rewires your brain. Each act of self-control strengthens neural pathways associated with focus, willpower, and delayed gratification. This biological shift is powerful because it means you're not just training your behavior, you're transforming your very capacity to stay committed. Over time, what once felt like struggle becomes easier, almost automatic. You develop an inner resilience that can weather setbacks and keep moving forward without losing sight of your vision. But discipline demands more than sheer willpower. It requires setting clear boundaries and creating an environment that supports your goals. Your surroundings, the people you interact with, and the habits you nurture either strengthen or weaken your discipline. To build lasting change, you must design your life intentionally. Remove distractions that steal your energy. Replace unhealthy habits with rituals that empower you. Surround yourself with influences that elevate your mindset and your actions. This intentionality isn't about control for control's sake. It's about creating freedom through structure. It's important to recognize that discipline is not about being perfect. It's about showing up again after you fall. It's about progress, not perfection. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you reinforce the identity of someone who honors their commitments, and that identity becomes the foundation of lasting transformation. You become someone who does what they say, who follows through on their promises, especially to themselves. When discipline is deeply rooted in your daily life, it becomes a source of empowerment rather than restriction. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstances or impulses. Instead, you claim ownership of your actions and your future. You realize that the power to change is in your hands. Not someday, not when conditions are perfect, but right now. This understanding unleashes a new level of confidence and courage. Discipline turns dreams into reality by transforming intention into action. It is the backbone of success and the fuel for resilience. When you commit to it wholeheartedly, you unlock the unstoppable force within you. The person you are becoming is built one disciplined choice at a time. Keep building, keep pushing. Because discipline doesn't just change your habits, it changes your life. Focus is the invisible force that transforms dreams into reality. Without it, even the clearest purpose and strongest discipline scatter into a million directions, dissipating your energy and willpower. Focus is not just about paying attention. It is about consciously choosing what deserves your energy and what does not. It demands a ruthless clarity to eliminate distractions and prioritize what truly matters. This intense concentration builds momentum and powers deep work, allowing you to enter a state where progress feels effortless and breakthroughs become inevitable. When you master focus, you guard your mind against the constant barrage of noise, from social media, endless notifications, and competing demands on your attention. You reclaim your time and your mental space. This is where your creativity, productivity, and motivation multiply. The brain functions best when it can fully engage with one task at a time. Multitasking fractures your focus, drains your energy, and reduces your ability to perform at your highest level. True focus creates a rhythm of flow, a state of complete immersion where challenges become exciting, not exhausting. Focus requires boundaries, setting limits on what you allow into your mind and life. It means saying no to distractions and yes to your priorities. Every time you protect your attention, you deepen your commitment to your goals. This protection is an act of self-respect because it recognizes your time and energy as sacred resources. You learn to recognize when your focus is being stolen and take steps to redirect it intentionally. This discipline over your attention is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Your ability to focus also directly influences your emotional resilience. When your mind is scattered, anxiety and overwhelm rise, making it harder to act. But when your focus is clear and strong, your confidence grows. You become grounded, centered, and capable of facing challenges head-on. This calm, determined mindset helps you push through resistance, distractions, and moments of doubt. It's like a shield that protects your inner strength from being eroded by external chaos. Focus is a muscle. It strengthens the more you train it. Each time you resist the urge to drift away from your purpose, you reinforce neural pathways that make concentrated attention easier and more natural. Over time, deep focus becomes your default state, allowing you to accomplish more in less time and with greater satisfaction. This growing capacity accelerates your progress and fuels your motivation, creating a positive feedback loop that propels you forward. The choice to focus deeply is a declaration that your goals matter more than fleeting pleasures or easy distractions. It is an act of courage to stand firm in a world designed to scatter your attention. When you commit to this level of focus, you harness an unstoppable force within yourself. You don't just chase your dreams, you catch them. You don't just hope for change, you create it. The power to transform your life lies in your ability to direct your focus with unwavering intention. Focus sharpens your purpose, strengthens your discipline, and fuels your resilience. It is the engine that drives every habit, every action, and every step toward your ideal self. When you protect your focus fiercely, you unlock the true potential within you, the potential to build the life you've always imagined, one purposeful moment at a time. Gratitude is a silent force that transforms your entire outlook and rewires your brain for success. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already present, creating a foundation of abundance rather than scarcity. This shift is crucial because the lens through which you see your life shapes your emotions, your decisions, and ultimately your reality. When gratitude becomes a daily practice, it rewires your mind to notice opportunities instead of obstacles, solutions instead of problems, and progress instead of setbacks. This mindset of appreciation doesn't ignore challenges or pain. Instead, it empowers you to acknowledge difficulties without being consumed by them. Gratitude creates emotional balance, helping you stay grounded and resilient when life tests your limits. It fuels a quiet strength that comes not from ignoring hardship, but from choosing to find value and lessons in every experience. This strength is essential because transformation isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about moving through it with purpose and grace. When you practice gratitude consistently, it rewires your brain's reward system. You start to release dopamine and serotonin, chemicals associated with happiness and well-being, more frequently. This biological response enhances your mood, reduces stress, and increases your ability to face challenges with calm and confidence. Over time, gratitude strengthens your emotional resilience, allowing you to recover faster from setbacks and keep moving forward with renewed energy. Gratitude also deepens your connection to yourself and the world around you. It encourages mindfulness, being present in the moment, and fully experiencing life as it unfolds. This presence enhances your awareness of your own growth and progress, no matter how small. Recognizing these moments of growth builds self-esteem and motivation, reinforcing your commitment to your journey. When you acknowledge the good in your life, you cultivate a mindset that attracts more positivity, creating a powerful cycle of reinforcement. Moreover, gratitude shifts your energy from a mindset of lack to one of possibility. When you focus on what you have, you open doors to new opportunities. You start to believe that abundance is possible for you, that resources exist, and that your efforts can yield results. This belief is not naive optimism. It's a practical and psychological foundation for taking bold action. People who practice gratitude are more likely to take risks, embrace challenges, and pursue their goals with courage because they operate from a place of confidence and hope. The practice of gratitude is simple but profound. It can be as easy as acknowledging 3 things you appreciate each day, or reflecting on the progress you've made despite difficulties. These moments accumulate and build a reservoir of positive energy that you can draw on when motivation wanes or obstacles arise. This reservoir becomes a wellspring of strength, reminding you that even in hard times, there is something worth celebrating and building upon. Gratitude transforms your inner narrative from one of limitation to one of empowerment. It rewires your mind to see possibility where once there was doubt. It strengthens your emotional resilience and nurtures your spirit. When you cultivate gratitude daily, you create an unstoppable foundation for transformation. You begin to move through life not as a passive observer, but as an active creator of your reality, empowered by appreciation and driven by purpose. This mindset shift is one of the most powerful habits you can build, and it will change everything about how you live, grow, and achieve. Action is the catalyst that transforms dreams and intentions into reality. Without it, even the clearest vision, strongest discipline, deepest focus, and most profound gratitude remain abstract concepts, ideas floating without anchor. Action demands courage, not because it's easy, but because it means stepping into uncertainty, facing fear, and moving forward despite doubt. It is the decisive moment where potential collapses into change, where thinking becomes doing, and where you break the inertia holding you back. The power of action lies in its ability to break the cycle of procrastination and hesitation. Every delay, every second spent doubting, steals your momentum and erodes your confidence. But each small step forward ignites a spark, a psychological trigger that signals progress, builds motivation, and rewires your brain for success. This is how momentum grows. Action creates evidence of your capability, reinforcing your belief in yourself and your ability to influence your future. It's a feedback loop of growth that turns intention into habit, and habit into transformation. Action requires commitment to consistency. It's not about perfection or giant leaps. It's about showing up day after day, ready to do what it takes. This persistent effort shapes your identity. You become the person who takes responsibility, who doesn't wait for perfect conditions or motivation to strike. Instead, you choose to move forward, knowing that progress rarely comes from massive, isolated bursts, but from steady, purposeful steps. This mindset transforms challenges from roadblocks into stepping stones. Fear often disguises itself as doubt, hesitation, or excuses, but action dismantles fear's power. When you act, you face the unknown directly. You confront the discomfort that once held you back. Each act of courage, no matter how small, rewires your brain, making it easier to face future challenges. The nervous system learns that discomfort doesn't mean danger, it means growth. This biological and psychological shift expands your capacity to handle stress and uncertainty, allowing you to operate at higher levels of confidence and resilience. Action also demands clarity. When your goals are vague, action becomes scattered, and effort dissipates. But when you clarify your purpose and break it into manageable tasks, action becomes focused and effective. You create a roadmap that guides your efforts, reducing overwhelm and increasing your chances of success. This clarity sharpens your decision-making and keeps your energy aligned with your highest priorities. Taking action is a declaration of self-trust. It's a statement that you believe in your ability to create change. This belief is the foundation of all transformation because it turns you from a passive dreamer into an active creator. You stop waiting for external validation or permission and start owning your journey. You claim your power through movement. Action fuels momentum, deepens confidence, and reinforces every habit you build. It is the heartbeat of transformation. Without it, nothing changes. With it, everything shifts. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is the willingness to act consistently and courageously. This willingness is a muscle you must strengthen every day. The truth is simple. No one changes their life without action. You have everything inside you to begin right now. Choose one step, take it. Then take another. Because action isn't just about doing. It's about becoming the person who never gives up, who pushes through fear, and who turns dreams into reality. This is the power that changes lives. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your results. It's the quiet, steady force that keeps you moving forward when motivation fades, when distractions pull at you, and when obstacles appear insurmountable. Discipline is not about punishment or rigidity. It's about respect for yourself and your vision. It's the daily commitment to do what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient, because you understand that lasting change requires consistent effort over time. The power of discipline lies in its ability to create structure and predictability in your actions. Your brain craves routine because it reduces decision fatigue and conserves willpower. When you establish disciplined habits, you free your mind from the constant battle of choice, allowing your energy to focus on progress instead of uncertainty. This automaticity builds momentum, turning deliberate effort into second nature. Over time, disciplined actions stack up, producing compounding results that no moment of fleeting motivation can match. Discipline transforms your mindset from reactive to proactive. Instead of waiting for inspiration to strike or circumstances to be perfect, you take control of your behavior. This shift empowers you to design your life with intention rather than drift through it passively. It builds resilience because discipline requires you to face discomfort and delay gratification. You learn to prioritize long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure, and this ability to delay immediate rewards strengthens your self-control and emotional regulation. Self-discipline also deepens your trust in yourself. Each time you follow through on your commitments, no matter how small, you reinforce your belief that you are reliable and capable. This internal trust is a foundation for confidence and courage. When you know you can count on yourself, you're more willing to take risks, confront challenges, and pursue ambitious goals. Discipline, therefore, becomes a source of empowerment that fuels further growth and transformation. It's important to recognize that discipline does not mean perfection. It's not about never slipping up or feeling overwhelmed. True discipline allows for setbacks but demands a quick return to your path. This resilience in the face of imperfection is what separates those who achieve lasting success from those who give up when progress stalls. Discipline teaches patience and persistence, helping you maintain your course even when results aren't immediate. Discipline is also deeply connected to your identity. When you consistently act in alignment with your values and goals, you start to see yourself differently. You become someone who perseveres, who honors their word, and who prioritizes growth. This evolving identity reinforces your commitment and makes disciplined behavior more natural and enjoyable. It creates a positive feedback loop where your actions and self-image support each other in a powerful cycle of transformation. The strength of discipline lies in its cumulative effect. Small acts of discipline every day build a foundation that supports bigger changes and greater achievements. It protects you from the distractions and temptations that sabotage progress. It is the engine that keeps your focus sharp, your actions intentional, and your motivation alive, even in difficult times. Ultimately, discipline is the commitment to your future self. It is the promise you make to the person you want to become, a person who shows up, takes responsibility, and never settles for less than their potential. Embracing discipline is embracing the path to transformation, knowing that every choice you make today shapes the reality you live tomorrow. This commitment is not easy, but it is the most powerful habit you can cultivate to change your life forever. Your environment shapes your mindset more than you realize. It silently influences your habits, your energy, and the quality of your thoughts. When your surroundings are cluttered, chaotic, or negative, your mind mirrors that disorder. It becomes harder to focus, harder to believe in your potential, and harder to maintain the discipline necessary for transformation. But when you intentionally design your environment to support your goals, you create a powerful external force that propels you forward. Clarity and calm begin with the space you inhabit. A clean, organized environment reduces mental noise and decision fatigue, freeing your mind to concentrate on what matters most. When distractions are minimized, your focus sharpens. This clarity creates a mental container where your best ideas, your motivation, and your drive can thrive. It is a form of respect toward yourself and your journey, a signal to your brain that this space is dedicated to growth, not comfort or distraction. Beyond physical space, the people you surround yourself with profoundly impact your emotional state and your beliefs about what's possible. Energy is contagious. When you spend time with those who support your vision, challenge you to be better, and celebrate your progress, you absorb their strength and positivity. This support system becomes a source of encouragement during tough moments and a reminder of your potential. On the other hand, negative influences drain your energy, breed doubt, and slow your progress. Your environment must include relationships that uplift you, push you, and hold you accountable. Your digital environment also matters. The endless stream of notifications, social media comparisons, and negative news creates a toxic background noise that steals your focus and undermines your confidence. Curating your digital space, limiting exposure to distractions and negativity, protects your mental energy and supports emotional resilience. It's a deliberate act of self-care that strengthens your capacity to stay motivated and aligned with your goals. Creating an empowering environment is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. It requires intentional choices every day, from the music you play to the books you read, from the people you connect with to the rituals you build into your routine. Each element either adds fuel to your transformation or subtracts from it. When you take control of these elements, you reclaim your power and build a foundation that supports lasting change. This environment becomes a sanctuary where your best self can emerge. It's a place that reflects your aspirations and nurtures your potential. It reminds you daily that you deserve growth, happiness, and success. This constant, subtle reinforcement is a psychological anchor that keeps you steady when motivation falters and obstacles rise. It's easier to say no to distractions and yes to growth when your environment is aligned with your vision. Designing your environment is an act of faith in yourself and your future. It's a commitment to making your success inevitable by removing barriers and amplifying your strengths. It transforms the invisible forces around you into allies that accelerate your progress. This external support is just as vital as your internal willpower. You must recognize that your environment is not neutral. It either feeds your dreams or feeds your doubts. By intentionally shaping it to reflect your goals and values, you create a powerful ecosystem for transformation. This ecosystem supports your habits, fuels your motivation, and sustains your momentum, making your journey not only possible but unstoppable. When your environment champions your growth, you become unstoppable. The way you speak to yourself shapes everything: your confidence, your resilience, and your ability to persevere when the road gets tough. Inner dialogue is not just idle chatter. It is the foundation upon which your self-belief is built or destroyed. Negative self-talk erodes your courage, silences your dreams, and traps you in cycles of doubt and fear. But when you consciously choose words of encouragement, compassion, and strength, you rewrite the narrative of who you are and what you are capable of becoming. Your mind is always listening, absorbing every phrase, every thought, every whispered judgment. When you feed it with kindness and possibility, it begins to believe that you are worthy, capable, and deserving of success. This belief is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Without it, motivation fades, discipline weakens, and even the clearest goals feel out of reach. Positive self-talk acts as a mental shield, protecting you from the doubts that try to sabotage your progress. It empowers you to keep moving forward, especially when external circumstances are challenging. Changing your inner dialogue requires intention. It means catching the critical voice the moment it arises and choosing to respond differently. Instead of "I can't," say "I'm learning." Instead of "I'm not enough," say "I am growing stronger every day." This simple shift activates a psychological principle known as cognitive restructuring. It rewires your brain to focus on growth and possibility rather than failure and limitation. Over time, this shift becomes automatic, creating a fertile ground for courage and persistence to take root. Self-talk also influences your emotional state. Words like "I'm overwhelmed" or "I'm tired" may feel honest, but they keep you stuck in feelings of helplessness. Reframing these thoughts to "I am handling challenges step by step," or "I have the strength to keep going," activates a sense of control and optimism. This emotional shift is crucial because your brain is wired to seek patterns. When it senses hope and control, it releases chemicals that energize and motivate you. When it senses despair, it triggers fatigue and avoidance. Your inner dialogue shapes your identity. The stories you tell yourself become the blueprint for your actions and choices. If you constantly say you are a failure, you will unconsciously act in ways that confirm that story. But if you affirm your resilience, your intelligence, and your capacity to change, you become someone who embodies those qualities. This is not about blind optimism or ignoring reality. It's about choosing a narrative that serves your highest potential rather than one that limits you.